we always say that trust is like, what is the connection between love and trust? Is there a connection, strong connection between love and trust? Like from a Buddhist point of view, actually, love is not always, what do you call, connected with the trust. Buddhists, like we say that when you become a bodhisattva, what is the practice of bodhisattva? The practice of bodhisattva is to love all sentient beings, no matter what. You know that person, you don't know that person, whatever that person is, you just have to love. I mean, just sort of, I don't want to use the word you have to. It is not the right word. You just, kind of love. That is the loving other sentient being is the main practice of the bodhisattva, like Mahayana practitioner. So to love all sentient being, do you have to trust all sentient being? No. So that is why trust and love is a little bit two separate thing in the Buddhist, what you call psychology or Buddhist philosophy or in the Buddhist practice. So that is why when we talk about love, it is not about giving your heart. It is about inviting other sentient beings in your heart. And one thing that is that is why there is like a lot of difference between trust, belief, and hope. Like for example, like a hope. Like when you are connected to somebody and then you hope that person will do that. And do we call that a trust or not? It is not really trust, right? It is sort of like an expectation. Like you kind of get closer with that person and you expect that that person will do good. And that person didn't do good and you feel hurt. And is that called trust through that person? Really, you didn't, it is not a trust. It was your expectation to change that person. So your expectation didn't meet what you expect. So then you get hurt. And it is not the trust. So that is why when we are always dealing with the betrayal of trust, we always have to look, what is the trust? Like, did I ever trust that person? Then if I really trust that person, then like it is having the definition of the trust or not? Or is that just a hope? Or is that just an expectation? Or is that just my desire? Or is that just what I wanted? So that is why understanding the nature of the trust will really help us to deal with the betrayal of the trust. And one thing, many times when we talk about the betrayal of the trust, actually in the Buddhist concept, we really not that much talk about other person betraying you. It is not the main thing. A main thing is about betraying yourself. It is huge. Like many times we deal with the outside other person betrayal, and it is a very hurtful feeling. Many times, one main question that we should always ask ourselves is, do I trust myself? And do I feel betrayal by myself? Because that is the one that you are always going to live together. You are going to live with yourself. You're not going to live with the other person, even though they are friend, family, or whatever. The main thing, the betrayal, many times, most of us, we feel betrayal with ourselves. That is almost sort of like a guilt feeling. Like when we have a guilt, when we, like for example, when we do something and then later we find out that, what mistake I have done, and then we feel very guilt, like a self-hatred toward ourselves. And when we feel self-hatred toward ourselves, then it is almost like you are yelling with yourself saying, why did I do that? I thought I will not do that, and now I did that. And I feel really betrayal for myself. And that is the main problem, actually. Outside other person betraying you is not the main issue here. The main issue is here. And what it will bring is when we feel betrayal to ourselves, then we generate a lot of resentment and we generate a lot of angry. Like whoever we encounter in our life, that is what happened, right? Sometimes, like when you are like very close with somebody, and then that person, deceive you, and you feel betrayal, and then every time, next time you meet anybody, you kind of like you just back up, resist, and you feel angry toward just without any reason. It's just the person. That is why many times when we feel outside is because our own feeling of betrayal to ourselves. And we trust ourselves. Do we trust ourselves or not? I don't know. It's a big question. In our eyes, do I trust myself? Do we trust ourselves? And many times, actually, the trust that we are really looking is, actually, it is good to trust somebody, but actually, the trusting other person comes first, you trusting yourself. If you don't trust yourself, then you will not trust other person.